If you were to ask me what the most ideal DLC would be for Dragon Age Origins, that one place or character backstory I was most dying to explore, it most definitely would not be the Deep Roads, nor the Dwarves. Yet here we are. The Golems of Amgarrak was released on August 10, 2010 as the second to last available DLC for Dragon Age Origins. You'd think with BioWare wrapping things up, they would have chosen a better setting. Maybe something with more elves, or a deep dive into some more post-Blat shenanigans. Oh well. For the purposes of this review, I played on PC, clocking in at about 2.5 hours total. I started on normal difficulty, but, well, you'll see. The Golems of Amgarrak takes place in a forsaken section of the Deep Roads at the request of Jerrik Dace, a veteran explorer of the dark, twisting tunnels beneath the lands of Ferelden. He requests the aid of the Warden Commander, who at this point is currently trying to rebuild after pushing the Darkspawn out of Amaranthine. Things are slow and a little dull, with the ledgers needing attention and dealing with petty squabbles between the noblefolk. Any excuse to get away from the mundane tasks of managing a keep was very welcome to Aim. As you may remember, Aim is an elf from Orlais, somewhat scorned due to her heritage, but now much respected for the work she did in restoring peace to the region. Despite this, there persists whispers in the shadows, people fearing how capable she is. An expedition to a remote thaig where survival is not guaranteed? Of course it would be endorsed. Though there are concerns amongst Aim's supporters, she left the keep in good hands with Captain Garavel and Nathaniel Howe, who is currently considering whether the Grey Warden life is really for him. Now, I started the game on normal difficulty, thinking what could possibly go wrong. I had played on normal initially in the base game and some of the other DLCs, figuring it would be a little challenging, testing my knowledge of the controls, skills, and abilities of my own character and new companions. Confidence, under normal circumstances, is a good thing until you walk face first into a Darkspawn ambush and quickly meet your demise. Yeah, I very quickly realised that the claims about this DLC being challenging were not exaggerated, and took the opportunity to change the setting to easy. Though don't be at ease, even on easy this was no cakewalk. I'm talking about boss battles that feel like they were designed as some form of torture, with mechanics that demand perfect timing and party synergy. If you are not pausing every couple of seconds to micromanage your party's abilities, your face is quickly going to eat dirt. It's the kind of difficulty that makes you question your life choices. Like, why am I down here fighting sentient meat puppets when I could be attempting to show Alistair that he made the wrong choice and I am the better woman? The atmosphere of the Deep Roads is absolutely suffocating in the best way possible. That is, if you get off on asphyxiation. Personally, I found the meandering caves and dwarven ruins suffocating. I just wanted to go outside and touch grass. From the moment Aim stepped into those dimly lit tunnels, you're hit with a sense of oppressive isolation that BioWare nails perfectly. And Jerrik is no company. How could he be? He's a dwarf. The flickering torchlight casts long, jagged shadows on the rough-hewn stone walls, and every echo of your footsteps feels like they are bouncing in perpetuity. There's no birdsong, no wind, just a distant drip of water, the low rumble of collapsing rocks off somewhere in the distance, the occasional skitter of something nasty lurking just out of sight, and strange, erratic breathing that seems like it's just behind you. Oh, wait, that's just Jerrik. For an elf like Aim, who's used to the relative openness of Orlais' alienages, this feels like being buried alive, a far cry from the sun-dappled forest she enjoys taking her peace in. It's masterful environmental storytelling. You feel the oppressive weight of the earth above you, and it amps up the tension tenfold. Amgarrak Thaig itself is a lost dwarven outpost of great significance, tying directly into the series' golem lore from Paragon Caradon's tragic experiments in the base game. This isn't just a random dungeon crawl thrown in for kicks, it's a cautionary tale of dwarven hubris. where a research team delved too deep into forbidden lyrium-infused golem craft, echoing the Anvil of the Void's dark legacy. The thaig's crumbling halls, filled with remnants of failed experiments, twisted golems, undead husks, and fade-tainted abominations, expand on the broader Dragon Age themes of unchecked ambition and the perils of playing God with magic and technology. For those that love reading the codex entries, like myself, it's a goldmine that fleshes out why the dwarves' underground empire fell and makes you appreciate how interconnected Thedas really is, even if, like me, you're groaning at yet another slog through the deep roads. And oh joy, the companions Im gets to bond with down here, because nothing says Dream Team quite like a bunch of bearded misfits, a walking rock monster, and a Bronto you'd sooner kill than snuggle, called Snug. Fitting. Leading the pack is Jerrik Dace himself, the Kal Sharok noble, who's equal parts swaggering duelist and beastmaster, dragging along his pet Bronto Snug, who you may want to be careful with if you're thinking about patting him and telling him he's a good boy. Im's not exactly thrilled, her only previous real dwarf experience being Oghren, and, well, we all know what he was like. Jerrik's admittedly a step up, but only by a rung. He is pragmatic, ambitious, and obsessed with golem tech. Still, he's a dwarf. Pass. Brogan Dace joins mid-DLC after being rescued. He is Jerrik's shell-shocked little brother turned berserker tank. All loyalty and moral grounding amidst the madness, he's the heart of the group, begging to smash the research forge once the truth hits. Then there's the runic golem, an ancient Caridon construct that you awaken within the depths, silent and stoic while slamming enemies' bones and crushing their organs. It's a fixed party with zero approval mechanics or deep banter, just pure survival synergy in the dark. But they might grow on you. Maybe. The Fade weaves subtly into the narrative through rifts spawning spectral horrors and corrupted constructs, pulling otherworldly energies into the physical world and drawing your party into a myriad of coloured variations of the environment, almost like you're walking through a kaleidoscope. It's clever how BioWare integrated the Fade as encroaching on the material world, rather than bringing you on another journey through its hellscape. You feel the Fade's presence in the air, see it in the deep mists, like a chill that seeps into your bones, amplifying the horror without derailing the underground focus. For Im, with her elven sensitivity to magic and her ranger summons drawing from nature, this adds a personal layer of unease. It's like the Fade is whispering temptations of power, mirroring the researcher's downfall. It's a smart narrative choice that builds tension organically, making every glowing rift or possessed enemy feel like a brush with the beyond. And despite the fact that there is very little in terms of story to tell within the narrative, I am going to put a spoiler warning here in case you want to try out this little wanderlust yourself. Skip to the timestamp displayed on screen if you don't want to know what happens. Okay? 3, 2, 1. Ultimately, whilst wandering the meandering stone-hewn corridors, Im and Jerrik locate his brother Brogan and the remnants of the vanished expedition. What they uncover is nightmare fuel. The team, driven mad by lyrium and desperation, fused fade magic with flesh to birth the Harvester, a grotesque multi-limbed abomination that shreds unprepared parties in a grueling boss battle. Victory triggers the thaig's collapse, with mini harvesters chasing the survivors up the staircase. To prevent anything from escape or anyone else entering, Im commands her spider familiar Batbane to web the entrance with her precious spider silk, cloaking it in a shimmering gossamer thread. The runic golem, who had been a silent and steadfast companion throughout, took the crushing weight of a boulder, bracing the ceiling for just enough time to allow our expedition party to escape. Back at Vigil's Keep, to honour this act, Im commissions twin bas-relief monuments of the golem carved into the main gates of the keep, forever holding the structure as eternal sentinels. Jerrik and Brogan are all too happy to oblige, commanding the most experienced crafters of their house to construct the memorial. And with that, Im returned her attention back to the workings of the keep. though she perpetually had an itch for another adventure, just scratching beneath her skin. Perhaps there would be another on the horizon. The pursuit of someone famed to have been detrimental in stopping the Fifth Blight, perhaps? The Golems of Amgarrak punches way above its 2.5-hour wait as a brutal, atmospheric dungeon crawler that delivers on horror and challenge. It's not for the faint of heart or underleveled party, but for Warden commanders craving one last romp through the deep roads, it's essential, flaws and all. If you are replaying Dragon Age Origins for the full experience, slot this in right after Awakening, as a final challenge and test of your knowledge of all the combat has to offer. Just bring potions, lots of potions, and maybe some soap and deodorant for our dwarven friends. By the way, 4 down, 1 to go. I know they have been far between, but how have you been enjoying the DLC content reviews for Dragon Age Origins? Let me know in the comments. This has been Venoir with a review of Dragon Age Origins, the Golems of Amgarrak, played on the PC. If you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe for more great Western RPG content. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you, take care of yourselves, and bye bye for now.